CNN 10 is not a breaking news show, but we're breaking some right now. Fridays are awesome. We're happy to have you watching as we wrap up this week in mid-May. I'm Carl Azus at the CNN Center. We will have 2 full weeks on air after this one, and then our season ends with the new one starting on August 13th. The Democratic Republic of Congo in Central Africa is where we start today's show. What's happening there is alarming medical officials around the world. The latest outbreak of the deadly Ebola virus has spread to a large city. Previously, it had been limited to a rural area, but now a case has been confirmed in the Congolese city of Mbandaka. It's where more than 1.2 million people live. The DRC's health minister says the outbreak has entered a new phase. This is significant because Ebola could spread more quickly in a highly populated area and be harder to control. As of last night, 44 cases of the hemorrhagic fever had been reported in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and 23 people had died from it. On average, the Ebola virus kills half the people it infects. But while the World Health Organization says the fact that it's spreading is concerning, it also says medical officials have better tools than ever to fight Ebola. One of those tools is an experimental vaccine. It hasn't been approved for use in the U.S., but the World Health Organization says it has been shown to be safe in humans and highly effective against the Ebola virus. So it sent 4,000 doses, along with emergency workers and equipment, to the DRC. International medical teams are also making sure health centers and isolation wards there are ready to receive Ebola patients. Ebola mostly affects people, monkeys, gorillas, and chimpanzees. The virus was first identified in this same part of Africa in 1976. People can catch Ebola if they come into contact with body fluids or something contaminated by an infected person. They can also be exposed by butchering infected animals. But as CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta tells us, people can't catch it through the air.
It's probably the question we got more than any other. Is Ebola airborne? The answer is no, it's not. But today I want to take just a couple minutes and show you why not. I think you're going to find this really interesting. A lot of viruses, when they're circulating through the air, if you breathe them in, part of the reason they actually make you sick is because they stick to your airways. Let's imagine this was your airway, for example, and this is one of those viruses. Put that in there, you pour it through, it's actually staying. Imagine that virus now staying in your lungs. Ebola, though, doesn't act that way. It's not as sticky. So even if you were to breathe in an Ebola virus, it might look something like this, and put it through your airway here, watch what happens. Goes right through. Doesn't stick in your airway, and that's why it's not airborne, doesn't make you sick. There's another reason Ebola isn't airborne either, and I want to show you this. When you think about cold viruses or flu viruses, oftentimes they act a bit like a powder. Look at that. You have this powder sort of in the air, people can breathe it in, but they can also live on surfaces for days, even weeks. That's in part what makes it airborne. Instead, with Ebola, it's much more like this baseball. You think about a baseball, you could put this in the air as well, but see what's going to happen pretty quickly. It's just going to drop to the ground, and it's not going to get anybody sick.
10-second trivia. Which of these U.S. agencies was described in 1908 as a regular force of special agents? FBI, CIA, Marine Corps, or Secret Service? The answer here is the Federal Bureau of Investigation, aka the FBI. It's been 1 year since a former director of the FBI, a man named Robert Mueller, was appointed to lead a special investigation concerning the U.S. government. What Mueller and his team are looking into is alleged Russian interference in the 2016 U.S. presidential election, and whether members of Donald Trump's political campaign inappropriately coordinated with Russia. President Trump's legal team says that after a year, Mueller's special counsel has not given evidence of collusion with Russia or obstruction of justice, and that it's time for the investigation to end. The president himself has called it a witch hunt and says he's done nothing wrong. But 22 other people and companies have been charged in the investigation. Many of those charges related to Russia's alleged interference in the election. And several people connected to the Trump campaign in some way have pleaded guilty to lying to investigators. Still, no one outside the special counsel team seems to know what's next. Complex investigations like this can take years to complete. So even though this one has been going on for a year, experts can only guess where it will end or how and when it will end. From Washington, D.C., we're taking you to Chino, California for a report on a high school class president who's also a pole vaulter, who's also a trainee for guide dogs. Yes, Brianna Cabrera is busy. But when you think about service animals, they have to be able to go out into public, into crowds, and still keep their cool and focus on their job. Brianna helps train them to do this. She's an example of a positive athlete, and you can nominate someone you know for this segment at cnn.com/positiveathlete.
I do pole vault. If I have a bad day or even a good day, he's always there with me and I could always get some cuddles, so it's nice. My great uncle is legally blind and he has a dog. They told me that they always need puppy raisers. I take them to practice, to track meets, to school.
Everybody is here. That is so exciting to know.
Any place I go with my friends or family, he's always with me. So my first dog was Quinn. He was really smart and he loved people. And my second dog was Beechwood. He was so laid back and calm and he didn't want to work at first. Flannel's my third dog. He is really energetic. And when we walk, he like trots around when he's happy. It's amazing, especially getting to watch them graduate. That is probably the best feeling you could have because you took over a year raising the dog and getting to watch them help and change somebody's life. It's a great feeling. He's a good boy.
No.
This is kind of mandatory to go to all the practices.
If you want the definition or the epitome of a student athlete, Bree would be that. She is one who follows her passions.
Have some fun, okay? You got this.
And also, again, goes out and does her thing on the track and puts in the hours to be successful there as well.
Most people probably don't want to see spiders jump, let alone train one to jump. But researchers at the University of Manchester did. They taught this little arachnid named Kim to jump on command. And they say it's the first time that's ever been done. So how did they do it? You might think through food, but spiders like Kim only eat about once a week. That would have taken a while. So what they did was manually move Kim from one platform to another, over and over again, until she was conditioned to make the jump herself. They tried this method with 3 other spiders, but only Kim seemed to learn the trick. Still, they say that once she started, she reportedly never missed, and even made different jumps depending on the distance and height of the platforms. So what's the point? Scientists are hoping to take what they learned from Kim's jumping and apply it to make really small robots that presumably could jump like her. So they were eager to jump right into the research. Maybe they saw something special in Kim the moment they spied her. Little Miss Muffet can sit on a tuffet, but Kim can jump on one, even if curds are in the way. It's like she's got 8 legs up on the competition, and that must be why her video is crawling all over the World Wide Web. I'm Carl Azus, spinning puns like silk on CNN 10.